not one sparrow falls without the Father. Come now, let the noise of the day fade. Let the weight of every worry be gently lifted from your shoulders. For this is a time of stillness, a time to listen, not with your ears alone, but with your heart. There is something Jesus once said that the world often forgets, a truth so gentle that it whispers beyond all the chaos, a truth that can reshape how you see yourself, how you rest, how you live. He said, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care." Matthew 10:29. Pause here. Imagine it, the smallest of birds, common and unnoticed, drifting through the sky. They have no riches, no fame, no power, and yet the Creator of the universe sees every single one. Not one falls without the Father knowing. Not one is forgotten. Not one is lost to the wind. And then Jesus looks at us, his disciples, his beloved, and says something even deeper. You are worth more than many sparrows. He is not offering a metaphor of limitation, but a declaration of infinite value. You are worth more. You are not forgotten. You are seen. You are loved. And your Father in heaven watches over you, even when you feel invisible, even when the world turns its face away, even when you forget your own worth. The Father never forgets. The Father never turns away. In this moment, in the quiet of your spirit, let this truth settle. God's eyes are upon you, and not as a distant judge, but as a tender, caring Father. Jesus did not speak these words in a grand temple or before kings. He spoke them to the ordinary, to the weary, to those who followed him on dusty roads, unsure of what lay ahead. He spoke them in the middle of uncertainty, as he sent his disciples out into a world that would not always welcome them. And yet, he reminded them, and now reminds you, even when the world is uncertain, your value is not. Even when the way forward is unclear, your identity is not lost. Even when you fall, your fall does not go unseen. Not one sparrow falls without the Father. These are not poetic words only. They are a promise. The same Father who formed the galaxies holds even the falling bird in his gaze. How much more does he hold you? Let your soul rest in this. You are not forgotten by heaven, not when you stumble, not when you grieve, not when you doubt, not when you feel empty. You are still known, still loved, still held. This moment here is not random. It is divine, because God speaks in the stillness. And right now, he wants you to remember, you are not unseen. You are not unloved. You are not alone. Lift your heart and listen, not for thunder or fire, but for the still small voice of the shepherd calling your name. He knows you. He knows what you've carried. He knows where you've been. He knows the questions no one else hears. And still, his eyes are upon you, not with disappointment, but with tenderness. Jesus says, "Fear not, for you are of more value than many sparrows." Luke 12:7, more value. This is not the value given by the world, not based on appearance, success, popularity, or performance. It is value given by God, written into your very being, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are, his. The God who numbers the stars also numbers the hairs on your head. Not one of them falls without his knowing. That is how intimately he cares. That is how deeply he sees. Take a moment now. Breathe. Let your spirit become aware of his presence. He is near, not watching from a distance, but surrounding you with love that does not fade. Present in every breath you take. Can you feel it? Not the presence of religion, not the burden of performance, but the presence of a Father who rejoices over you with singing, who never turns his gaze away. Jesus came to reveal the heart of this Father, a heart that searches for the one lost sheep, that welcomes the prodigal home without shame, that counts every tear and calls every star by name, and yet still calls you beloved. That is the beginning of your worth. It does not begin with achievement. It does not begin with comparison. It begins with the simple, eternal truth. You are God's. You belong, not because you earned it, not because you are flawless, but because He chose to love you before you even knew how to love Him. This is the heart of the gospel, the reason Jesus came, to make known the love of the Father, to restore the value the world had tried to strip away, to bind the brokenhearted, to say, "You matter, you are seen, come home." He said these things not once, but again and again to the woman at the well whose shame had silenced her voice, to the leper, outcast and untouched, to the sinner, lost and rejected, to the child, overlooked by society, to the thief on the cross, forgotten by the world. To each one, Jesus gave dignity. To each one, He spoke the truth of their worth. And He does the same for you. Now, you are worth more than many sparrows. Let this become the rhythm of your heart, not anxiety, not fear, not striving, but assurance. Not just belief in God, but trust in His care. Not just survival, but a life of belovedness. You were made for this love, and this love never fails. As this meditation continues, we will walk slowly through the words of Jesus. We will listen for His voice in every promise, in every act of compassion, in every whisper of hope. But for now, let this be enough. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Not one moment, not one breath, not one tear has escaped His attention. He sees the sparrow fall, and you are worth far more. You are worth more than many sparrows. Matthew 10:29-31. Jesus stood before His disciples, preparing them for the path ahead. He did not promise comfort. He did not hide the reality that the world would resist their message. But He also gave them a promise that reaches into the soul, a truth that quiets fear and awakens identity. He said, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered, so do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows." Matthew 10:29-31. Let us linger here. Slowly, are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? A penny, a coin of little value. Jesus is pointing to something intentionally small, insignificant in the eyes of the world. Sparrows sold cheaply in the market, creatures that most would overlook, that no one would count or protect, and yet not one of them falls without the Father knowing. Not one goes unnoticed by God. If that is how deeply He cares for what is considered small and expendable, how much more does He care for you? This is the divine comparison Jesus wants to awaken in your heart. This is not just poetry. This is the Son of God saying, "You are more valuable than you know. You are not random. You are not an accident. You are known intimately, counted, and kept in the Father's hands." We often live unaware of this truth. We feel tossed about by the storms of life, unseen in the crowd, unnoticed when we cry. But Jesus says otherwise. He says, "You are worth more, more than the birds of the air, more than the lilies of the field, more than all the forgotten creatures." He still watches and nourishes each day. When Jesus speaks these words in Matthew 10, he's sending his disciples out to carry his message, and he's preparing them for rejection, for difficulty, for opposition. But he doesn't focus on fear. He focuses on value. He reminds them, and now reminds you, that your identity is not rooted in the response of others, but in the unwavering gaze of God. Even when people misunderstand you, even when you walk through sorrow, even when your heart aches, your strength is low. The Father's love does not diminish. The Father's eyes do not turn away. Even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. This is one of the most tender statements in all of Scripture. Think of what it means, not counted, like a statistic. Not generalized, numbered, each hair on your head. God is not just vaguely aware of you. He knows you in the most detailed, loving, and personal way. His knowledge is not cold or distant. It is intimate and full of compassion. He numbers the hairs of your head because he delights in you. He knows your voice. He knows your history. He knows the things you've never told anyone. And still, he says, you are worth more than many sparrows. Jesus is not measuring your value by what you produce. He is not assessing your worth by your performance. He is revealing a truth that was always true even before you believed it. You are valuable because he made you, because he loves you, because you are his. When fear presses in, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being forgotten, return to this place in Scripture. Let Jesus speak this over you. Do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Let these words push back the darkness of anxiety. Let them be a shield against every lie that says you are not enough, not seen, not known. You are worth more. Even when your life feels small, even when your work feels unfinished, even when the world seems to move without noticing you, you are worth more because God himself says so. You may have moments of weakness, moments when doubt creeps in, moments when you question your place in the world, but Jesus' words do not change with emotion. His truth is not fragile. His love is not shaken by your uncertainty. He sees the sparrow fall, and you, his beloved child, are never outside his care. Let these words become the melody of your life. Let them quiet the noise that tells you to prove yourself. Let them be the anchor that holds you in times of trouble. So do not be afraid. These words are not a command rooted in shame. They are a comfort wrapped in divine promise. They say, you don't have to be afraid. Isn't asking you to live a fearless life by willpower. He's inviting you to trust that you are already seen, already cherished. Even now, as you breathe and listen, you are surrounded by that care. This truth is not just for moments of peace. It is for the storms. It is for the midnight hour when fear whispers your name. It is for the early morning when you rise uncertain of what the day will bring. It is for the quiet times when loneliness wraps itself around your heart. In all these moments, the words remain. You are worth more than many sparrows. God is not watching you from a distance. He is here, present, near, and his eyes are kind. He is not disappointed in you. He is not waiting for you to earn his affection. He has already declared your worth with the breath he gave you. with the cross he endured for you, and with the words of Jesus that still echo across generations. You don't have to prove your value. You only have to receive it. You are seen. You are remembered. You are precious. And the God who holds the sparrow holds you. Let this shape the way you live. Let it guide how you walk through the world with confidence, not arrogance, with peace, not performance, with gratitude, not striving. Every sparrow has a place in his sight. So do you. Every life matters to him, especially yours. Let the voice of Jesus be louder than every other. Let his words form the foundation of your identity. You are worth more, not because of what you bring, but because of who you are, God's beloved child. As we journey onward in this meditation, carry this truth with you. You are not one of many. You are one in whom the Father delights, and not one part of your life, not one tear, not one sigh, not one breath is ever lost in the crowd. He sees you, he knows you, he cares for you, and you are worth more than many sparrows. There are words Jesus spoke that we often pass over too quickly, words so simple and poetic that their power may not fully register at first. But when we stop, when we let the truth soak in, everything changes. Even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Matthew 10:30, not just counted, numbered. Imagine this. Not a single strand on your head is unknown to God. He doesn't just see the surface of your life. He knows you more deeply than you know yourself. This isn't a number meant to be literal. It's meant to be personal. It's Jesus saying, you are known to the depths. No detail escapes my Father's love. Let your heart dwell in this place for a moment. The one who spoke galaxies into existence, who carved rivers through stone, who paints the skies each morning. He knows every hair on your head. He knows your thoughts before you speak them. He understands your heart, even when you can't put words to your feelings. He sees the weight you carry that others cannot see. He knows the story behind your silence, the pain beneath your smile, the prayers you've whispered when no one else was listening. Jesus says these words not just to comfort, but to redefine how we understand ourselves. We are not hidden. We are not invisible. We are not random. We are known intimately, continuously, and lovingly. What if you truly believed that? What if, every time you looked in the mirror, you remembered, God sees me, God knows me, God understands even what I cannot explain? That would be enough to quiet the deepest fear, enough to break the power of shame, enough to silence the voice of inadequacy. So many people in this world feel unknown, overlooked, underestimated, misunderstood, but Jesus speaks directly into that ache. He says, the Father knows you better than you know yourself. You don't need to strive to be noticed. You already are. There is something healing about being known. When you feel known, you can breathe. You don't have to perform. You don't have to pretend. You can rest. That's the beauty of Jesus' words here. They don't demand perfection. They offer belonging. Jesus reminds us, your value does not come from being impressive. It comes from being loved by the one who sees everything and still draws near. Even the hairs of your head are numbered. He sees the changes in you, the aging, the graying, the falling. He watches every change in your body and never changes. His love, he sees you through every season, in youth, in strength, in weakness, in illness, in age. And through it all, his gaze is tender, So many people feel like their value is tied to their appearance, as if being young, attractive, or put together somehow makes them more worthy. But Jesus says, even when your body changes, your worth does not. Even when time leaves its mark, my love does not fade. Every detail of you is seen by the Father, and none of those details make him love you more or less. His love is steady. It is not based on your perfection. It is based on his promise, and that promise is this: you are mine. I know you. I love you. You are precious to me. Let those words replace the harsh voices that echo from your past, the voices that said you weren't enough, that you had to earn love, that you had to be someone else to be accepted. Let the words of Jesus be louder. You are already known, already counted, already chosen. God's love for you is not based on what you present to the world, but on what he sees when no one else is looking. He sees your motives. He sees your fears. He sees your hopes. He sees the moments you wanted to give up, but did in single quotes. He sees the battles you fought in silence and honors your perseverance. He sees the way you care for others, even when it costs you. And through it all, he numbers every hair, because nothing about you is too small for his attention. This is not about vanity. This is about value. It's about the truth that nothing in your life, not even the smallest thing, is overlooked by your Father in heaven. He is not too busy. He is not distracted. He is not distant. He is near, so very near, and he whispers, I see you. I care for you. I know you better than you know yourself. And still, I love you endlessly. You don't have to compete for God's attention. You already have it. You don't have to impress him. You already delight him. You don't have to be anyone else. He made you exactly as he intended. In a world that often treats people like numbers, statistics, followers, consumers, God treats you as a name, a soul, a beloved child. You are not one among many. You are the one he rejoices over with singing. He holds your hand when you feel alone. He comforts your heart when you don't have the strength to pray, and he stays always. You are never too broken for his presence. You are never too far for his reach. You are never too small for his attention. This is what Jesus means when he says, even the hairs of your head are all numbered. It is his way of saying, you matter completely, not just the parts you show, all of you, and because of that, you can live with freedom. Not the freedom to be reckless, but the freedom to be real, to be yourself, to stop pretending, to stop hiding, to come home to the truth of who you are in Christ. As we walk through life, we often long for someone to really see us, to really know us, and still love us. Jesus says that longing is met in me. You are known fully, and you are loved completely, right here, right now. So take a moment, place your hand over your heart, feel it beating a rhythm sustained by God. Feel your breath, a gift renewed each moment by grace. Feel the sacred presence of the one who has never taken his eyes off of you. He is here, and he numbers the hairs on your head. Not one falls without his notice. Not one part of you escapes his care. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not unseen. You are held. You are counted. You are worth more than many sparrows, and every detail of your being, every line, every scar, every story is wrapped in divine compassion. This is your identity. This is your anchor. This is your peace. As we continue in this journey, Carry this truth deep within you. The God who created all things knows you personally, and he says, "You are mine. I have called you by name. Even the hairs of your head I have numbered, and I will never forget you." His eye is on the sparrow, and he watches you. There is a song that has endured for generations, simple, soulful, and filled with deep comfort. It says, "His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me." This is more than a lyric. It's a declaration of faith, a quiet confidence that even when life feels uncertain, God has not looked away. That song draws from the words of Jesus, from the very heart of what we've been reflecting on. He reminds us again and again that even the smallest creature is not beyond God's notice. The sparrow, common, fragile, often unseen, and yet not one of them falls without the Father's care. Not one of them is outside his view. And if that is true of the sparrow, how much more is it true of you? This is the message that flows from Jesus' heart to yours. If I care for the sparrow, I surely care for you. So, let us pause and ponder this sacred truth. God's eyes are upon you, not with judgment, not with disappointment, but with mercy, with patience, and with love. His gaze is not the cold scrutiny of a critic. It is the warm, steady watchfulness of a Father who delights in every breath you take. The eye of God is not a distant symbol. It is an expression of nearness. He sees because he is close. He watches because he cares. He notices because you matter. Many people live feeling invisible, as if no one truly knows them, sees them, or understands the depths of what they carry. But not you, not in God's sight. He sees the tears you cry in private. He sees the burdens you try to hide. He sees the fears you whisper to no one. He sees the faith you hold onto even when it trembles. His eye is on the sparrow, and he watches you. With every step you take, he walks beside you. With every sigh, he listens. With every hope, he is present. You are never beyond his gaze. Not in the dark, not in despair, not in silence. He does not turn away when you're broken. He does not flinch when you're afraid. He draws nearer, and in that nearness, he reminds you, "I see you, I love you, I will never leave you." Can you sense it now? That divine attentiveness. It's not the kind that invades. It's the kind that honors, the kind that shelters, the kind that holds you gently, like a bird cupped in careful hands. There are moments when you may wonder, does God see me? When prayers feel unanswered, when silence lingers, when nothing seems to change. But the silence of heaven is not. Absence and unanswered prayers are not ignored. Sometimes God is simply watching, watching as you grow, watching as you trust, watching as you become strong in ways you can't yet see, and in every second of that watching, he remains full of love. There is a tenderness in being seen, a healing that comes not from someone fixing your pain, but simply being with you in it. God does this. He enters your sorrow. He dwells in your weakness. He stays in your shadows. And all the while, his eye is upon you, not to condemn, but to comfort. When a sparrow falls to the ground, it does not fall without the Father's knowledge. When you fall in weakness, in grief, in doubt, you do not fall alone. The Father sees. The Father knows. The Father is near. His watchfulness is not passive. It is protective. It is personal. It is powerful. In Psalm 121, it is written, "He who watches over you will not slumber." The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. He does not blink. He does not sleep. He is never unaware, even in the night, when all seems still. He watches, even in the chaos, when nothing makes sense. He watches, even when you feel like no one understands. He watches, and in that gaze is not just attention, but affection. You are the object of his love, not his project, not his servant only, his beloved. You are not an afterthought. You are not in the background. You are his child. Let these truths anchor your spirit. Let them shape how you walk through the world. You don't have to shout to be heard by God. You don't have to strive to be seen. You don't have to pretend to be perfect. You are already known, already loved, already watched over. Let this be the rhythm of your soul. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Think of that each time you feel overlooked. Think of it when you're in the waiting place. Think of it when no one calls, when no one sees, when no one notices. God notices. He is never distracted. His love never blinks. He is not watching to accuse you. He is watching to protect you, to guide you, to bless you. You are held in his gaze, and in his gaze you are safe. The sparrow knows nothing of how the world sees it. It simply flies. It simply sings, and God watches. You, too, do not need to perform to earn God's care. You simply need to be to trust, to walk each day in quiet awareness that your life is holy, your breath is sacred, and your presence on this earth matters. He who watches the sparrow watches you with even greater care. Jesus said it. He meant it. He sealed it with his life. You are not hidden. You are not alone. You are always, always, always seen, even now, as you. Listen, God is watching, not in distance, but in closeness, not to weigh you down, but to lift you up, to say, you are mine, and I have my eye on you forever. You are seen by the Father in heaven. To be seen, truly seen, is one of the deepest longings of the human heart. Not just to be noticed, not just to be looked at, but to be understood, known, valued. And Jesus, in his tender way, assures us over and over that this longing is fulfilled in God. You are seen by the Father in heaven, not occasionally, not vaguely, not from a distance, but constantly, lovingly, intentionally. There is no moment when his eyes leave you, no thought that passes unnoticed, no tear that falls unnoticed. This truth may feel hard to believe, especially when you've gone through seasons where you felt invisible to the world. Maybe you've walked through days where your presence felt overlooked, where you gave love, but it wasn't returned, where you served others, but your sacrifice went unacknowledged, where your quiet faithfulness, your gentle endurance, your silent struggles all seemed unseen, but they weren't. They never were, because your Father in heaven sees you from the moment you woke this morning to the quiet times you paused to breathe, to the heaviness you carried behind your smile, to the prayers you whispered under your breath. He saw it all, and he was not indifferent. He was moved with love. Think of Hagar in the Old Testament, the woman cast out, wandering in the desert, broken and alone. And yet, God met her in that barren place. She gave him a name, El-Roi, the God who sees me. She was not forgotten. In certainty or confusion, God sees you fully, completely, lovingly. Jesus said in Matthew 6-4, your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. He sees what others don't. He sees your sacrifices. He sees your acts of kindness no one else acknowledges. He sees the good you do when no one is watching. He sees the courage it takes to keep going, even when it feels like no one cares. He cares, even when you do the right thing and no one notices. He notices, even when your heart breaks in silence. He hears every sound it makes. You are seen, and not just seen, but seen with love. The eyes of the Father are not critical. They are not cold. They are full of mercy. When the world sees only your failures, God sees your faith. When the world sees only your weakness, God sees your will to keep going. When the world sees only your exterior, God sees your soul. There is no mask before Him. There is no need to pretend. He sees you as you are and still calls you beloved. This is the kind of seeing that changes a person, not the gaze that evaluates, but the gaze that embraces, not the stare that judges, but the eyes that rejoice. When you truly understand that you are seen by God, something begins to heal in your heart. You no longer live to be approved by the world. You begin to live from the security of being known by your Creator. And in that knowing, you find freedom. Freedom to be vulnerable. Freedom to be honest. Freedom to rest in your true identity. Not who others say you are, but who God says you are. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to strive endlessly. You are already seen, already known, already treasured. In Psalm 33 to 13:15, it is written, "From heaven the Lord looks down and sees all mankind. From His dwelling place He watches all who live on earth. He who forms the hearts of all, who considers everything they do. He formed your heart. He sees your thoughts. He watches every path you take. He understands your intentions, even when they're misunderstood by others. He sees the depth behind your decisions. He knows what it cost you to forgive, to hold your tongue, to act in love when it would have been easier to turn away. He knows, He sees, and He is pleased, not in a distant, passive way, but as a Father who draws near. As Jesus said in Luke 12 to 6-7, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 pennies? Yet not one of them is forgotten by God. Not one of them is forgotten, not one. And if sparrows so small and so ordinary are remembered and watched by God, how much more is your soul known? How much more is your journey seen?" Let this truth root itself deep within you. When you feel hidden, when you feel overlooked, when you feel misunderstood, you are still seen by the one whose gaze never wavers. And when He sees you, He sees someone worth loving. He sees someone worth redeeming. He sees someone worth walking with every day. This is the Father Jesus came to reveal. A Father whose eyes are never blind to your pain. A Father whose heart is moved when you cry. A Father who celebrates you not just for what you do, but for who you are. When Jesus looked at people, He looked differently than others. He saw past the surface. He saw the woman who touched His robe, trembling with fear, and called her daughter. He saw Zacchaeus in a tree, a man everyone else ignored or despised, and said, "I must stay at your house today." He saw the paralyzed man lowered through a roof, and before He healed his body, He healed his soul, saying, "Your sins are forgiven." Jesus always saw more, and He still does. He sees you, not just your name, your face, or your actions, but your heart. He sees your potential. He sees your faith, even when it's just a flicker. He sees your wounds and wants to heal them. He sees your story and wants to redeem it. He sees you, so you can live with peace, not because life is easy. He sees, and He never stops watching over you. As we move forward in this meditation, carry this truth with you. You are seen, always, when the room is quiet, when the day is long, when the night feels endless. You are seen, and not just seen, but loved. Do not be afraid, you are loved. Do not be afraid. These words appear throughout Scripture like a soft refrain, again and again, echoing from heaven to earth, from the lips of angels, from the mouth of Christ, and always, always, they are followed by love. God never says, "Do not fear," without showing why you don't need to. He says it because you are not alone. He says it because He is with you. And more than anything, He says it because you are loved. Let that truth settle gently in your heart. You are deeply, unshakably loved. Not for what you've accomplished, not because you're perfect, not because you've earned it. You are loved because you were made by love Himself, because you are His, because He delights in you. Fear whispers to the soul, "You are not enough." But love replies, "You are mine. You are enough because I say you are." Jesus, in His wisdom and tenderness, never denied the realities of this world. He knew we would face trials. He knew we would face rejection, pain, and sorrow. Yet again and again, He spoke this gentle command, "Do not be afraid," not because everything would always feel okay, but because you are never without His love. His love is not distant. It is not abstract. It is not shallow. It is the kind of love that walks into the darkness and stays with you until the light returns. It is the kind of love that silences shame, calms storms, and lifts your face. It is the love that says, "I see you, I know you, and I am not going anywhere." Jesus shows us this love with every step He took on earth. When the woman caught in sin stood condemned by others, He said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." When the disciples were terrified in the boat, He said, "Take courage. It is I, do not be afraid." When Jairus' daughter had died and hope seemed gone, Jesus said, "Don't be afraid, just believe." His love does not ignore your fear. It speaks directly to it. It steps into it. It holds you right there. You don't have to pretend you're not afraid. You don't have to be strong on your own. You are allowed to feel the weight of life and still know you are loved through it. So many people carry fear quietly. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of being alone. Fear of failure. Fear of the future. And fear has a way of making us feel small, uncertain, unworthy. But listen to what Scripture says. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear. 1 John 4:18. Perfect love, not human love, which falters and fades. Not performance-based love, which disappears when we mess up. God's love, a love that knew you before you were born. A love that followed you through every mistake. A love that never grows tired of you. A love that will never walk away. This is the love Jesus brings. This is the love that speaks peace to your soul. Do not be afraid, not because you're strong, but because you are loved by the strong one. Not because life is easy, but because you are never alone in it. Jesus knew fear personally. He wept, He groaned, He felt sorrow in the garden before the cross, and yet He faced it all because of love. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. John 15:13, He did not run from pain. He entered it, so that you would never have to face it alone. That's what love does. That's what His love does. It stays. And when you feel afraid, He doesn't rebuke you harshly. He speaks like a shepherd to a frightened lamb. Fear not, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom. Luke 12:32, are the little flock, and He is the good shepherd. He leads you gently. He knows every fear you carry, and He carries you through them. There are fears that live deep in the heart, fears we rarely speak out loud. Fear of not being loved, fear of being forgotten, fear that we don't really matter. But Jesus dismantles those fears with His presence, with His voice, with His love. He speaks to your identity. You are worth more than many sparrows. He doesn't say it once. He repeats it to make sure. You hear it clearly. You are not worthless. You are not invisible. You are not alone. You are loved, not loved eventually. Not loved when you get it all right. Loved now, right now, where you sit, as you listen, as you breathe. You are loved by a God who knows every inch of your soul and still chooses you. Every day. His love does not grow weary. His love does not waver when you fall. His love is not scared away by your fears. It stays. So do not be afraid. Do not fear being misunderstood. He understands. Do not fear being forgotten. He remembers. Do not fear tomorrow. He holds it in His hands. And more than anything, do not fear that you are unlovable. You are loved more than you know. Loved with a love that cannot be measured. Loved with a love that cannot be earned or lost. Loved with a love that gives peace, even when the storm still rages. This is the kind of love Jesus invites you to trust. A love that says, come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. That is the invitation, not to figure everything out, not to fix yourself, just to come and be loved, to come and be seen, to come and let go of fear. Even now, He is near. Even now, His heart is turned toward you, and He whispers, do not be afraid. You are mine, and I love you. You are not forgotten. Isaiah 49:16. There are few feelings in life as painful as being forgotten. The world moves fast. People come and go. Memories fade. Words are left unsaid. Sometimes your quiet efforts are overlooked. Sometimes your pain goes unseen. And in the solitude, a whisper can echo through the heart. Does anyone remember me? It's in those moments that the eternal voice of God breaks through with power and gentleness. He says, see, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49:16, not written in ink, not recorded in fading scrolls, not stored in a memory prone to forgetfulness. Engraved, carved, etched, permanent. You, your name, your life, your soul are engraved upon the hands of God. Not a moment passes where you are not held in His memory. Not a second ticks by where He turns away from you. You are never forgotten. In Isaiah's time, this message was given to a people who felt abandoned, exiled, cast off. They cried, the Lord has forsaken me. The Lord has forgotten me. And God answered with compassion. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. Even when human love falters, divine love does not. The most faithful relationships fade, God's covenant endures. You are not forgotten. even if no one calls you today, even if your good deeds go unseen, even if your struggles are silent. God remembers. He knows the story you carry. He knows the battles you fight behind the smile. He knows the years you gave in secret, the love you offered when no one else was looking. He does not forget. The book of Malachi speaks of a scroll of remembrance in heaven, a record kept of those who fear the Lord and honor His name. Your faith is written in heaven. Your name is held in the hands of God. When Jesus walked the earth, He made a habit of remembering the forgotten. He stopped for the one who touched His robe. He noticed Zacchaeus hiding in a tree. He heard the cries others tried to silence. He saw the widow who gave her last 2 coins. Jesus never forgot the overlooked. He made them seen. He made them known. He does the same today. The world may pass you by, but Jesus stops. He sees you. He calls you by name, and He says, "You are not forgotten," even when the silence feels heavy, even when prayers seem unanswered, even when you wonder if your life matters at all. He whispers again and again, "You are mine. I have not forgotten you." When Jesus stretched His hands upon the cross, love was engraved into flesh. The very hands that hold your name were pierced for your sake, forever bearing the mark of love, forever carrying the memory of your worth. Jesus did not go to the cross casually. He went with you in mind, your failures, your wounds, your longing to be remembered. He bore them all, and in doing so, He said, once and for all, "You are worth dying for, and I will never forget you." Maybe you've been in places where people walked away. Maybe you've been hurt by abandonment. Maybe you've heard promises broken. But God is not like man. He does not forget. He does not abandon. He does not lie. In Deuteronomy 31:6, He declares, "I will never leave you nor forsake you." In Psalm 139, the psalmist writes, "How precious to me are your thoughts, God! How vast is the sum of them! Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand." Can you imagine the thoughts of God about you more than all the sand on every shore? You are not a passing thought. You are a continual treasure, engraved, remembered, held. Let this truth become the rhythm of your heart. I am not forgotten, even when the world is silent, even when no one thanks me, even when I feel unseen. God remembers. He remembers. He remembers your prayers. He remembers your kindness. He remembers your pain, and He holds you in His hand. Still, Isaiah 46:4 echoes this promise. Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. There is no expiration on God's memory. His love is not seasonal. His eyes never grow dim. His heart never turns away. You are remembered now. You will be remembered tomorrow. You will be remembered forever. In Revelation, we're told of a day when God will wipe away every tear. Why? Because He sees every one. He collects them. He remembers every sorrow, every time you cried in secret, every ache in your soul. He knows. He has not forgotten, and one day He will heal it all. But even now, in this very moment, you are known. So breathe deeply. Let go of the need to be seen by everyone. Let go of the ache for human recognition. Rest in the assurance that your Father sees. Your name is written on His hands, and those hands are mighty to save, gentle to hold, strong to carry. Those hands will never drop you. You are not forgotten. You are loved. You are remembered forever. Fear not, little flock. Luke 12:32. Fear not, little flock, for your Father has been pleased to give you the kingdom. Luke 12:32. There is such gentleness in these words, a softness that wraps around the soul like a warm covering on a cold night. Fear not, little flock, he could have said. Fear not, you mighty warriors. He could have said, fear not, those who are strong and successful. But he didn't. He looked at ordinary people, weary, worried, misunderstood, and called them his little flock, not a grand army, not a flawless people, but a flock, small, vulnerable, needing care and beloved. That's you. That's me. We are his little flock, and he is our shepherd. These words come from Jesus' heart, spoken not from a throne, but from dusty roads, where he walked with people who were uncertain, afraid, poor in spirit, and to them, to us, he says, do not be afraid. Why? Because your Father is pleased to give you the kingdom, not reluctantly, not barely, not as a last resort, but pleased, delighted, the kingdom of heaven, with all its peace, hope, provision, and presence, is not something you must force your way into. It is a gift freely given by a loving Father. Jesus doesn't just offer comfort in times of fear. He offers identity. He reminds you that you are not just one among billions, drifting through time. You are a part of his flock, chosen, loved, and under his care. And because of that, you do not need to be afraid. Fear often enters when we feel alone, when we feel small, when we feel outmatched by life's uncertainties. And that's precisely why Jesus speaks to you this way. He acknowledges your smallness and reminds you of his greatness. A shepherd does not love his sheep for their strength. He loves them because they are his. He protects them, leads them, lays down his life for them. This is how Jesus loves you. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. John 10:11. You don't have to impress him. You don't have to pretend to be strong. You simply need to belong, and you do. Let the image settle deep in your spirit. You, part of his little flock, huddled near to him, held close to his side, listening for his voice and following where he leads, even when you wander, even when fear pulls you away. He comes for you. He does not leave even one behind. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? Luke 15:4. That's the heart of your shepherd. A heart that pursues, a heart that rescues, a heart that rejoices when you are found. And when he finds you, he doesn't scold. He lifts you onto his shoulders. He carries you home. He celebrates. This is love without fear. This is safety beyond understanding. This is what it means to belong to the flock of God. Fear not. There may be wolves. There may be dark valleys. There may be times when the path is unclear, but he is with you, and that changes everything. Psalm 23 becomes not just poetry, but truth for the soul. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. You are led. You are protected. You are known. You are restored. And even in the presence of fear, you are not alone. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Jesus does not promise a life free of valleys, but he promises His presence in every valley. He walks with you. He talks with you. He lifts your head when you are bowed low. He sings over you when you have no strength to sing. The sheep never leads the shepherd. The shepherd always leads the sheep. So when you don't know what to do, when you feel lost or tired or afraid, you do not need to find your own way. You only need to listen for His voice. My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. John 10:27. Even if the world grows noisy, even if fear drowns out everything else, His voice is still near, still calling, still guiding. Sometimes all it takes is one word, come, and you return to Him, not out of fear, but out of trust, because you are not just any sheep. You are His. You are worth more than many sparrows. You are engraved on His hands, and you are never, ever forgotten. He knows the rhythm of your steps. He knows your unique cry, and He rejoices in your presence. So let your heart rest in this truth. You are not walking alone. You are part of a flock. Yes, a little one, but one that is beloved, guarded, and promised the kingdom. You don't have to strive for approval. You already have it. You don't have to conquer fear with willpower. Let perfect love cast it out. You don't have to know the way. You only need to follow the shepherd. And when you fall, when you doubt, when you tremble, He does not abandon you. He bends down. He lifts you. He carries you home. You are not a burden to Him. You are a joy. Fear not, little flock. Your shepherd walks beside you, and your Father in heaven delights to give you all that you need, and more than you can imagine. The God who provides, Jehovah Jireh. In moments when you feel scarcity, when your resources are low, when your strength feels spent, when your heart is heavy with worry, the name of God offers you a deep well of peace. Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides. This is the God Jesus reveals, not distant or indifferent, but near, faithful, and generous. The God who sees your need and supplies exactly what you require, in exactly the right time. The name Jehovah Jireh first appears in the story of Abraham and Isaac. Abraham's faith was tested when God asked him to offer his beloved son as a sacrifice. Yet, at the last moment, God provided a ram caught in the thicket, a substitute for Isaac. Abraham called that place Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. This ancient name echoes across the centuries, reaching to you today with the same powerful promise. God will provide for you not only the things you need for survival, food, shelter, safety, but also the deeper needs of your soul, peace, strength, hope, and love. Sometimes it's easy to trust God's provision when things are abundant, when your cupboards are full and your future seems secure. But the true test of faith is to trust Him in seasons of lack, uncertainty, or pain, too. Say with Abraham, the Lord will provide, even when you don't see how, even when the path is unclear, even when the wait feels long. Jesus invites you into this trust, a trust that does not depend on circumstances, but rests firmly on the character of God. He said in Matthew 6, "Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Your value is immeasurable in His eyes. If He cares for the birds, how much more will He care for you?" The Creator of the universe is not too busy or too distracted to meet your needs. Your Father watches over you. attentively. His provision may not always look the way you expect. Sometimes He provides through other people. Sometimes He provides by giving you peace in the midst of difficulty. Sometimes He provides through unexpected doors opening, but He always provides. Nothing is too small or too large for His care. In Psalm 23, the psalmist declares, "The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing." This is a profound statement of trust. To declare you lack nothing does not mean you have everything you want. It means you have everything you need. Your Father supplies your deepest needs, physical, emotional, spiritual. When you are weary, He renews your strength. When you are anxious, He offers peace. When you feel alone, He is your companion. When you are broken, He is your healer. This is the God who provides. His provision is perfect because it flows from perfect love. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to manipulate circumstances. You simply receive it by faith. The Lord's provision is also tied to His timing. Like Abraham, you may be asked to wait. You may be asked to trust when the ram is not yet caught in the thicket. You may face moments of uncertainty, wondering how needs will be met. But in those moments, faith grows. Hope deepens, and reliance on God becomes stronger. The story of manna in the wilderness is a beautiful example of God's daily provision. The Israelites gathered manna every morning, just enough for that day, not more, not less. They had to trust God every day, today's provision for today's needs. Similarly, God invites you to receive His provision, moment by moment, not to hoard worry about tomorrow, not to be anxious about the future, but to trust Him for today. Jesus said, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." Each day has enough trouble of its own. When you place your trust in Jehovah Jireh, you enter into a rhythm of faith, one that lets go of fear and embraces God's faithful care. In this rhythm, you find freedom. Freedom from frantic striving, freedom from anxiety, freedom to rest in the knowledge that your Father provides. This provision is not only for your survival, it is for your flourishing. God desires to bless you abundantly, not to spoil, but to sustain, not to burden, but to uplift. Your worth is not tied to what you have, but to who you belong to, and you belong to the God who provides. Let the psalmist's words fill your heart. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Repeat it gently to yourself. Let it seep into your spirit. No matter what challenges you face today, you do not lack. You have a provider, one who cares about your needs more deeply than you can imagine. Even when you feel forgotten or overlooked, He remembers. Even when the road ahead is uncertain, He guides. Even when your strength fails, He sustains. Jehovah Jireh's hands are outstretched to you. His heart is open to you. His eyes are watching over you. You can rest. In His provision, you can trust Him with your needs. Can know that your Father in heaven delights to give you good things, and the greatest gift of all is His presence. His presence is the source of all provision. When you are weary, He is your rest. When you are afraid, He is your courage. When you are uncertain, He is your guide. You are never outside His care. You are always enveloped by His love. So in moments of doubt, say to your soul, Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. Let that name be your anchor, your reassurance, your comfort, and your hope. The God who provided for Abraham, the God who fed the Israelites with manna, the God who sends His Spirit to comfort and strengthen you today is the same God who provides for you with faithful hands, with open heart, with unending love. You are held, you are cared for, you are worth more than many sparrows, and your provider delights to meet your every need.